Hi there, this is Hermie and Permium. If you like that, you're going to love the fact check with Miss Monica. I am launching a competing religion to
Buddhism?
Quakerism.
Oh, to Quakerism.
And I'm using spices too.
Dax, why did you at least do herbs?
I'm going to use spices too to confuse people.
Okay, and what are your spices?
Shining, prancing,
Okay.
intriguing,
That's bad.
captivating,
Okay.
energizing,
Oh my God.
sprinkling. Could also be sparkling.
Okay. These are
This
all...
is like an extrovert's religion.
Yeah, this is so outward.
This is great.
And it's so performative.
Shining, prancing, intriguing, captivating. This is a way of life.
Intriguing is not good.
Yeah. Well, if you're using it specifically in the SLA way.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No, things that are intriguing aren't inherently. That it's just been used in that.
Things that are intriguing, but you're saying these as verbs.
But you can be intriguing in many ways other than romantic or sexual.
Okay.
Mine's also easier to memorize, right? Because you probably already have mine memorized, and you probably don't, off the top of your dome, have the original spices memorized.
I think I do. Stewardship, service.
Well, you're just kind of making a mess of it now. Okay.
What? That's true.
But you got to go SPICE.
Well, no, I don't.
Okay.
God,
Okay.
you and your rules.
Service,
stewardship, community, peace.
Oh, good job. What's E&I?
Integrity. Integrity was I.
It was.
Yes. Okay. How many have I done?
You need one more. You need an E.
Equity. Equality. I did it.
Good job.
Now yours, shining, prancing, spit takes.
No, that was Pete. What?
Okay. Shining, prancing, intriguing, celebration.
Captivating.
Oh, captivating. Egg on your face.
Energizing.
And sparkles.
Sprinkling.
Oh, sprinkling.
Okay, so mine's not easier to remember. Okay.
Okay, well, that's cool. At your cult, you're going to have that.
Okay, do you want to talk about, because you were waiting patiently for me to listen to the Malcolm Gladwell episode called Rogan Intervention?
Joe Rogan Intervention. It's revisionist history.
Uh-huh.
And the new season's great so far. There's also a couple really good episodes about George Floyd.
Oh, and RFK or whatever.
Yeah. There's an episode before the Joe Rogan intervention called the RFK Jr. problem.
Oh.
That leads sort of into the Joe Rogan intervention. And God, that Malcolm Gladwell.
What a gift he has.
He's so good.
What an incredible episode.
I thought, yes. Okay, so the episode starts off kind of calling out Joe Rogan a little bit about his interview with RFK Jr. and not really, and like the difference between an interview and a conversation. And it really just deep dives into what is a good interview.
Versus a conversation between friends, yeah.
Interviewing is a real skill. It is different from conversation. And it is like, they play a clip where Malcolm's being interviewed by Michael Gervais. And Malcolm starts crying, talking about his dad.
Yeah.
But what led there was so nothing. Like it was very
Innocuous.
simple. It was, and I was like, yeah, it's complicated and it's simple. Getting like real emotion out of someone.
So there's this string of back and forth where RFK,
RFK Jr.
he claims that the Spanish flu, he's got 3 whammies in a row. Spanish flu, that people didn't die from the virus, that in fact they died from this bacterial infection. And that
Fauci signs off on it.
That Fauci agrees with him, that this conclusion. And then that what the Spanish flu really was a backfiring of a vaccine. And so, yeah, Joe's like, he is skeptical at first. He's like, according to what and what's the documentation? And he finds the article from Fauci. Then there's some at least Malcolm's conclusion is that neither of them really understood the difference between a primary and a secondary cause of death. So, what's he to do if he doesn't know that?
Right.
Right. like an average person could misread that conclusion. And then when he gets into the vaccine thing, now he's just, now you're in this weird position where this guy's saying there are articles, but you don't have them. And I just wonder, I was trying to delineate how ours is different. I guess really the only difference is the people we have on are truly experts in the field they're talking about. But likewise, we can only push back so much because it's not our field.
Well, right. But I guess if we're going to have someone controversial on, which we don't do that often, actually. But if we do, before we had Andrew on, there was a conversation we had that was like, if we're going to have him on, we're going to have all the conversations and push back. So to me, it's that. It's like you can't have someone like that on who's extremely controversial and says all kinds of stuff and not be prepared to really push back.
Challenge. The statement that was a vaccine that killed 100 million people.
Right.
Yeah, of course, I'm in bed. Like, that's one of the few issues I'm pretty vocal about. I'm very pro-vaccine. Although I have a little bit, I understood people who didn't want the COVID vaccine more than maybe someone who's so pro-vaccine that I was. I understand it's your body and you ultimately get to decide what you put in your body. That piece of it I totally get. But I got more, I want to hear your conclusions because and maybe this is a bad habit of mine. I keep trying to zoom out and figure out what's really going on. That's my great curiosity. You've got like two intelligent people.
Who?
Joe and RFK. They're not dum-dums, either of them. They're both intelligent people. And then you wonder, does that story appeal to them? That there's been a conspiracy, it's vaccines, that's the Spanish flu is really vaccines. Why are two intelligent people drawn to that conclusion?
Well, I don't know if Joe is. I don't know if that's his
I don't know
conclusion.
either. He seemed skeptical in his defense while he was hearing it.
Yeah, I don't know what he thinks, but RFK Jr. Must believe it. I mean,
he's sincere about it.
Yeah, so
then I try to figure out what's going on under it, and even broader, why is it so appealing to people? Like a vast, like a very large amount of people are drawn to that. And my conclusion is, I think if you feel very left out and excluded, that like there's this group of people in the country that are living this great life and you feel excluded by that. It's almost like you feel like they have some secret shit. Like they have some secret. Why are they succeeding at this level and enjoying all of this prosperity and opportunity, and I'm not, they're not more valuable than me. They're not smarter than me. There must be some kind of conspiracy just in general. You know what I'm saying? Like there must be something dirty going on that all these people have all this shit and then all these other people don't.
But it's not, it's not poor people who are anti-vaccine. In fact, it's mostly very, very privileged people who are anti-vaccine.
Well, that is what's weird. But I think there's two really big buckets. There's the Whole Foods, super liberal, probably elite group. And then there was the fuck no, that's got trackers in it. That's, Biden trying to control me. That's the anti Bill Gates faction. Yeah. So I think there is two really big factions.
Yeah, but I tend to think the people who, it just in my experience, the people who are the most vocal and leading the charge are not poor people. When you have so much privilege and access to the Brazil nut that's $14 per nut that might have this special benefit, like they want to go that route, and then that's natural and all of these things. But I think most people believe doctors. They believe the system, right? That doctors pretty much know what they're doing, that when the baby is born, it needs these things, and they're just going to go do these things. And they don't have to question every single thing that comes in. Also because they don't have time or energy to question it. They're living their lives.
Well, yeah. I think the last time I looked, like 83% of the country had gotten at least the first round of the vaccine for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So despite whatever you were hearing and the pushback, the vast, vast majority of the people did. So yeah, I agree. Most people just do. Most people are vaccinated. Thank God. The most, But I get just curious why that thing that sounds pretty far-fetched to me doesn't sound far-fetched to an intelligent person.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my conclusion is if you already think the system's rigged, like if you're already suspicious that there's some kind of weird unfairness happening, I have to imagine you're more open to that.
Yeah.
If your kind of baseline assumption is like something crooked's going on.
I know, but I don't think that's the majority of those people. I really don't. I mean, definitely not RFK. He's a Kennedy.
But he's the black sheep Kennedy. Like, that's how I set him in that category. It's like the other Kennedys had a much different trajectory than him.
Trajectory, but not, he was privileged.
Oh, fully.
And like,
but even like a privileged
Cheryl
person
Hines
could feel like the least privileged among the, I don't know.
Yeah, but that to me is like so kind of part of, I guess, sort of this bigger thing, right? Like, you're so privileged and insular that you think you have it bad.
Yeah.
Like, look, and then it's also, look, if he's just a random person on earth, I don't care, right?
Yeah.
But he's in charge.
Well, now, yeah.
Yeah.
Not at the time of that conversation.
I think when he had RFK Jr. on, I think was during the election.
Oh, I don't know.
Do we know? Rob, can you check?
June 2024.
June 2024.
Okay.
Yes.
He was running for president at that time.
Right.
Oh, God.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. He was a nominee.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he's saying, like, this is my platform.
Yeah. And then there's a really fun, and I wonder where we both land on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's the bigger issue of like this spectrum between journalists and comedians with podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And then their obligations as such, right?
Yeah.
Like a journalist has a whole code of ethics and vetting sources and all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
And there's tons of conspiracy theory podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
There's nuts. No one gives a shit. What people are really worried about is that he has a huge audience.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. It's like, that's a very relevant variable in how upset someone is that there's just a comedian talking about conspiracy theories.
But his podcast isn't a comedy podcast. He's a comedian.
No, yeah, I'm just saying he's a comedian.
Yeah,
he's not a journalist. He's
correct.
Not a politician or a doctor.
But his show is a show where ideas are explored.
Uh-huh.
It's not, a laugh riot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are funny episodes or whatever,
Yeah.
but it is there to explore ideas. Maybe he thinks he is being responsible with it.
Well, I assume he does because I think he's a principled guy with integrity, and he just happens so I believe the experts we have on, and he believes the experts he has on.
Well, I don't know though.
And then you don't know.
We wouldn't have him on to come talk about anti-germ theory.
Yeah, because I don't believe in him.
But I don't know that Joe Rogan does. I think he is like, come talk about your thing. Let's talk about it. But then he himself isn't equipped to really have that conversation with this person who's powerful. In the episode before when they're talking about RFK, he doesn't believe in Louis Pasteur's germ theory. He doesn't believe that. He believes in the opposite thing. And so does Woody Harrelson. Like and so yes, it's not, to me, it's like.
See, I think it'd be easy and convenient if you could write the people off as dumb, but I don't think you can do that. So then the question is, how do smart people have the courage to go against 99.9% of
I don't
biologists who think a certain
think
way?
it's courage. I think it is a long time of not having your feet on the ground, that you're able to explore all these different options for life and the world and the way it works and who's in charge and who's not in charge. I do think it's like checking yourself on how, quote, normal your life is in comparison. I think most of these people's aren't.
Yeah, I just think there's a baseline distrust of systems. The government, healthcare, doctors, universities, like all of these
It didn't
institutions.
used to be. It's becoming more and more.
Yeah, it's hard to know chicken or the egg where there are that many people and now there's just an outlet. I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Well, we do know because measles is back now. It wasn't. You know, people are now, these things are coming back that were gone.
Yeah.
There's that whole episode about the rotavirus and the vaccine for that, which they've like, you know, RFK and them have said is bad.
Oh.
And it is like single-handedly saved
Millions of
more children,
infants from diarrhea, dying of diarrhea.
than any other vaccine.
It's so reckless.
It is. It's just reckless.
Yeah. But anyways, I remain really curious. Like, why?
Yeah.
As a smart person, how do they look at that? And you look at like the tens of millions of kids just in India that have been saved from the rotovax.
Yeah.
I want to like understand how that gets shoved aside in your 13 cases of maybe not even verifiable,
Exactly.
you know, side effects, takes charge over tens of millions of people.
I know.
And
I mean,
there's got to be something interesting there.
There also might be a part of a lot of humans that want to be the it's almost like the opposite side of the coin to like exceptionalism. Like I'm different from everyone else.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It is a kind of a display of courage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is, I am not afraid to go against the grain and to march to the beat of my own drum and all these other, you know, individual tropes that we love. A great episode. Most importantly, no matter how you fall on it, I think, like my headline of that episode to you, my original feedback was Malcolm's genius for the way he unravels a story is so proprietary and unique and stimulating.
Yeah.
It's just so...
He's such a good storyteller.
The way he flips, it's like he flips channels back and forth to different stories, and then the way he weaves them ultimately together is so impressive.
Great show. Revisionist history.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Okay, let's see here. We talk art with Michael.
Let's talk about some art.
We're going to do from Wikipedia.
Let's talk about art, baby.
The list of most expensive paintings. Okay, according to Wikipedia. The Salvador Mundi is the most expensive, $450 million, adjusted 577. But this is the one that he talks about that a lot of people discredit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a very unimpressive painting to me.
It's Da Vinci.
I mean, we love Da Vinci, but I'm not impressed. That doesn't say 570 million to me.
1,500 though.
That's when it was painted?
Yeah.
1,500.
Attribution is pretty disputed. Then we have Interchange.
The Mona Lisa, obviously, we just need to say it's never been sold.
Yeah, these are paintings sold.
Yeah, that would be billions of dollars.
Probably, yeah, I assume. Yes, Interchange is a Kooning.
Ooh. Okay, that's more my speed, Monica.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It was 300 million, adjusted 398.
Oh.
That was sold by the David Geffen Foundation.
It still blows my mind. There's objects that are worth $500 million.
I know. Well, there are cars.
I think the most expensive car is about $75 million for a Ferrari GTO.
The third is a Cezanne, the Card Players. That was 250, adjusted 349.
I like it. It's like two cowboys.
I like that one.
Yeah, they're about to shoot each other. That's my story.
I don't think so. I think they're playing cards.
And one of them's always cheating. There's always a cheat in these cowboy card games.
Why are they cowboys? That
Well, the guy's got a cowboy hat on
He's
the left,
wearing like
right?
an Abe Lincoln hat.
It's kind of a mix between a stovepipe and a cowboy
Stovetop
hat.
stuffing. Okay, then we have
Stovetop stuffing.
Paul Gauguin called,
Gauguin.
is it Gauguin?
Yeah.
Okay, Gauguin. Nafe fa Ipiopo translates to when will you marry?
Okay, I like that one. I like her dress.
210, adjusted 279.
Her feet are a little mangled like mine.
Right, she has a lot of toe.
Have I told you this,
no.
that I'm now describing my foot as a comb over?
What?
Because the long toe has now moved over to fill the gap of the baby toe.
Oh, wow.
So it looks like Trump's hair now. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
A fucking comb over on my feet.
Oh, wow.
That may come up on Kimmel tonight, but it happened here first. We tend to talk about my feet a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're doing Kimmel tonight, and I'm going to Beyonce tonight.
What a night. Star-studded night.
Jackson Pollock is next, number 17A.
I think that's Jackson Pollock.
Incorrect. Number 17A, 200 million, adjusted 265.
Oh, 200 mil?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm allowed to say Pollock. Did you know that? Because I'm 12.5% Pollock.
Okay.
Because my kids are 25% Pollock. It's like the
No.
Natalie. Yeah.
Then no. Then we have a Gustav Klimt, Wasserschlangen 2. That's 100.
What a name, Wasserschlagen.
Oh, wow. This is like
That's a fever dream.
women, naked women, two naked women.
Oh, I see a breast. I
yeah.
see butt cheeks.
But they have long hair.
Yeah.
This
and
is cool.
Flowers in between them. They're like maybe on a... Oh, there's like 4 women in that photo or in that painting.
Where's the other 2?
You can see if you look at the faces, top, middle, then to the right, we've got 2 broads. And then on the bottom, we've got a broad.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. This guy was having a hell of an afternoon.
This was fun. Well, I want this one because I like art of women.
You do. That's your niche.
So I wonder if I can buy it. It was sold for 183.8 million, adjusted 248. So I just got to save up.
Quarter bill.
Mark Rothko is next. Number 6, violet, green, and red. Now this is pretty much just squares.
Yeah, good for him for being so successful with the squares. I do like it, though. It's pleasing.
I do too.
Beats the hell out of that Da Vinci
Salvador Mundi.
dump.
Oh my God.
Dump
Have
of
some
a painting.
respect.
It isn't worth $500.
You're mean today.
I don't even trust the providence of that.
Well, we don't. People don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Count me in that group.
Next is a Rembrandt pendant portraits of Merton Suleman and Upjin Koop.
All the people in these Rembrandt photos look like they have syphilis. Like their faces are red and weird. Like, look at her nose is red as hell.
What do you mean?
You're the least observant person I know. I love this.
I don't-
You can't see her red.
I mean,
look at her.
it's not about not. I'm staring at it. I don't see it as bright red like a clown nose.
Oh, I do. It's like it's going to fall off. And then the guy on the left, he's suspiciously rosy cheeked
He's
too.
pink, but that's very close to real life skin.
I think all these people were like, they had all kinds of parasites and I bet people looked terrible back then. Don't you think?
Dax,
No, you couldn't wash your face or brush your teeth.
Yeah, but white people's skin
Is disgusting.
is pink. Your skin is pink.
I don't have blotches of blood on my face like this.
She does.
This
What are you
chick.
talking about?
Look at her nose.
Her nose is just shaded.
No, she's got like a huge sore on her nose. All these people look like they have scabies or...
Oh my, you're like so. Is this because you're nervous about Kimmel? You're being
I'm lashing out at these people from the past.
Oh my God, you're right.
Oh, jeez. I'm impressed you admitted that. Yeah, she has a fucking... this woman will be dead within the month.
No, you're
She's
okay.
dying of something.
First off, you're overreacting.
Is it that she was blowing her nose so much? She is...
See, this is why you
She's
shouldn't blow
dying.
your nose a lot. She's not. She does have a red. This area of her nose, this nostril
is diseased.
Is red.
Yeah.
She blew her nose. She had a cold.
No, she has a real, like a bubonic plague. Black Death is on her nose.
You know what?
Tell me. And this chap on the left, he's like 18. He's going to die within the month as well.
oh my God. You need to stop.
These people are long gone, Monica.
You are not being respectful of the dead or the living. Now, or the painted.
Also, don't fuck sheep if you're in the audience.
What?
That's how humans got syphilis, fucking sheep.
This sounds like RFK.
No, look that up.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Rob, can you look it up? I can't type that into my browser. I think the reason I couldn't see it at first, we're looking, for people who are listening, we are looking on the big TV screen at these pictures, and I'm not wearing my glasses.
Right.
And I think that makes me a better person.
I know.
I really do, because now look.
We have a history of this.
Then I zoomed.
Like we were watching an interview with somebody one time, and their tongue was so big. And you thought I was a bad person for observing that their tongue didn't fit in their mouth.
I thought it was a little.
I didn't
you
say
guys
like.
were being mean.
Listen, I didn't say like the person was a jerk or anything. It was just like, wow, they really have to wrestle their tongue.
And you made some jokes.
What were the jokes? I don't remember any jokes.
Yeah, about this person's tongue being very big.
I was just observing.
No,
wow,
you
this
made
is a whale of a.
You think you could ever observe something and not make a joke about it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There's no scientific evidence to support the claim that syphilis originated from sheep.
Thank you so much for looking.
I guess I am RFK.
It likely was brought to Europe by Columbus's crew.
Columbus, they were sheep fuckers.
It does say that.
Yeah, that part's true.
This is how conspiracies start.
Well, no, but you're kind of like, this could all seem like pageantry so that we could demonstrate we're above that because you just pushed back. Then we looked it up. Then it turns out I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's not from fucking sheep. Continue on.
Okay. Anyway, I just think it's best if none of us wear glasses. Okay. I think that's all for the paintings.
Okay, great. There's a lot of money up there.
Okay. First cousin once removed. Someone who's related to you as a first cousin, but is in a different generation. Specifically, they are the child of your first cousin or your parents' first cousin. Think of it as a first cousin who is a generation removed from you.
So that's a tricky one for me because I have Mandy and Kelly who would be, they'd fall under this category.
I thought they were your cousins.
They are, but they're my dad's cousins' children. But here's what makes it tricky. I'm going to tell you why it's complicated. There's only two bloodlines because my grandpa's brother married my grandma's sister and had Mandy and Kelly's mom.
Oh.
So they're like double first cousins, I think is what they called themselves. And so because of that proximity, I'm actually not, I'm like, it's the same blood level as would be if it were my brother, you know.
Huh.
My dad's brother's
But they were
kids.
your dad's cousin's kids.
Yeah.
Your first cousin once removed is supposed to be your dad's cousins.
But that's interesting, the two bloodlines thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, who is Jacob Rothschild? Big business guy. Nathaniel Charles Jacob Rothschild, 4th Baron Rothschild, was a British hereditary peer investment banker and member of the Rothschild banking family. Rothschild is a hard one. I can see you trying to not bring it up over there.
Rothschild? I was thinking, I wasn't trying to not bring it up. I was just thinking about that the Rothschilds are the center of many, many age-old conspiracies. And then I was thinking, oh, this is related to what I was saying earlier. Because I think when people acquire great wealth, they amass great wealth, all of a sudden they're somehow running the world and they're cheating, you know? So like the Rothschilds are the center of all this, that book I read, The Behold the Pale Horse. They're kind of like they're crucial players in the Illuminati theory.
Huh. Like they themselves believe it or people believe it about them?
People think the Rothschilds have run the world order. Rothschild. See? Johns Hopkins.
It is a Johns Hopkins situation.
This is a regular old Johns Hopkins right here.
Okay. The book Careless People is by Sarah Wynne William. Are people from New Orleans called New Orleanians? Yes. Assassinations due to J.D. Salinger's book.
Oh, here we go.
Many murder cases throughout its time. Mark David Chapman, who had an obsession with the book, murdered John Lennon. Also, John Hinckley, who attempted to assassinate Ronald Reagan.
Gut shot.
Was thought to be obsessed with the books as well. There are many other people whose murders or attempted murders are thought to be connected to The Catcher in the Rye such as Lee Harvey Oswald's assassination of JFK and Robert John Bardo, the man who killed Rebecca Schaefer. It says Holden Caulfield might have some criminal potential as well, having similar traits of killers.
Yeah, that's my favorite book.
Because you're a killer.
Because I like to kill people. And I do think it captures very well a feeling of not fitting in or feeling different. Different in a way that's going to prevent you from integrating the way everyone else seems to be integrating.
Yeah.
And I think
love that book too.
That's on the ladder to that.
Yeah. It's a slippery slope to incel.
Like a soft landing is punk rock music, but you could follow it further.
Yeah, I think a lot of these people in basements who are, what are they called? Like
Incels?
Yeah, I said incels, but something else.
Basement dwellers?
No.
Rat people.
Chosen.
Chodes?
No, it's called. Jesus. God. Just go on Kimmel already. Get this over with. It's called something like abstinent, like not chosen abstinence, but something like that.
Celibate?
No. What if I became an incel because I started doing research?
Involuntary celibates?
Yeah, that's it, I think. Involuntary celibacy.
Which I think is just where the term incel comes from. That's like the long
Oh,
term.
that's what it comes from. I never knew that.
It's an acronym-ish.
It's actually a portmanteau.
It's what?
A portmanteau. That's what it means when you take two parts of two words and put them together.
A portmanteau?
Yeah, you ever heard that?
Oh, my God.
A portmanteau.
A Natalie Portman, too. That's like if Natalie Portman had a Fu Manchu, you would call it Natalie Portman, too.
Heterosexual men who blame women in society for their lack of romantic success.
That's not going to get it done, boys.
I wouldn't say it's the best route.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, could you make yourself any less appealing?
I know. That's the irony of the whole thing.
I know. It's the double-edged sword that people can come together on the internet and find each other in a great way, and then they can find each other in a terrible way. Because these dudes, there were always dudes that couldn't get laid in their basement.
Yeah.
In their mom's basement.
But they were mainly watching TV.
Right, but they couldn't like commiserate and feel bad for themselves and become victims.
Those other guys who were in the basement just watching TV, now they seem hot.
Yeah, just the lazy guys.
Yeah.
Do you think sex robots will cure this?
No.
Like if all these incels get a really good sex robot,
no.
will they not be so hostile anymore?
No, because they still want the power over women. Like, they don't want women to be more powerful than them. And so the sex robot isn't going to fix that.
Well, the sex robot won't be more powerful than them. They'll be in charge.
I know, but there'll still be real women in the world.
Yeah. I just wonder if it's like, if you video game it, they'll be distracted.
I mean,
with
they
that.
can masturbate. It's not like...
They want to move their hips and hump. That's a primal desire.
They
do a
on the
humping.
couch.
Yeah.
They just hump their couch.
Yeah. I'm watching a show where the woman just masturbated by humping a big pillow.
Yeah.
And I just got kind of envious of female anatomy.
Sure.
Because I couldn't hump a pillow to completion.
I bet there is something you could put it in and off.
A pillow's everywhere. Like you check into a hotel room, and if you can just hump a pillow, that's great.
But why do you think that's better than jacking yourself up? Because somebody else?
You're not, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not providing the friction.
I see.
There's no like dual signals going on. Like you're trying to ignore your hand.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't invented like a mechanical hand.
They have.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's called a fleshlight.
Oh, a fleshlight. Yeah, that's a...
I've thought about...
Oh, yeah, that's a
I've
thing.
thought about it, and you know what has prevented me from ever trying one? The cleanup.
Ew. That's
I don't want to
disgusting.
deal with a machine that I'm humping, you know?
Also, don't you have to hold the flashlight?
Presumably, yeah.
I think the hand, like...
It just a mannequin hand?
Yeah, you can, like, connect it to the wall.
Oh, well, I got a suction cup.
No, like, it's plug in, but it's a long cord. So if you're in bed, you don't have to touch it.
I tried to hump numerous times the toilet paper roll, which was always it never worked, but it always called to me because it was a circle.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think I want to know anymore.
Okay. You've got a boundary.
Yeah. Casey Sepp's book on Harper Lee, Furious Hours, Murder, Fraud, and the Last Trial of Harper Lee. Okay, the Tiger Lady, he mentioned this Tiger Lady. He said Tiger Lady or Lion Lady who got all that plastic surgery. Do you remember her?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was Tiger Lady. Jocelyn Wildenstein.
I wonder how much money that costs.
Well, she had a high-profile divorce from billionaire art dealer. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, my God.
And businessman Alec Wildenstein. Cat-like facial appearance. She passed away in December.
She went through all 9 lives?
Wow. She has 2 children.
Oh, okay. Now I'm sorry.
That was a pretty good one. Okay, let's see if it says here. Oh my God, her yearly telephone bill was $60,000 and food and wine cost $547,000.
This is in the divorce settlement?
I guess. She received $2.5 billion in the divorce settlement.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
She could own almost all those
But then
paintings.
she went bankrupt.
She went bankrupt? How the fuck did she lose $2.5 bill?
She had a lot of...
Well, that's not in surgery.
Well, some of it was...
Maybe $1 million.
Yeah. 3 apartments in Trump Tower were repossessed in 2020.
Oh my God, she ran through $2.5 billion. I don't know. I'm surprised a woman who turned herself into a cat also wasn't great with money, but it still shocks me to lose that much money.
Yeah, she was Swiss.
I'm glad she's Swiss. They need something. You never hear anything bad about the Swiss. They've always been neutral. They've got great chocolate and skiing, great banking.
Yeah.
We need something on them, and this is a start.
That's true. Oh, okay. Did Ted Olson argue the most cases in front of the Supreme Court? So there's a list from lone dissent of U.S. Supreme Court top advocates. Number 1 is Lawrence G. Wallace, 157 arguments.
Whoa.
Yeah. Then there's number 2 is an unknown advocate.
Okay.
Wants to go by unknown.
What a mensch.
3 is Edwin Needler, 143. 4, Michael Dreeben, 106. 5, Paul Clement, I've heard that name, 92. 6, Carter Phillips, 86. 7, Erwin Griswold, 83. Ted is 13 on this list.
Okay. My claim wasn't that he had argued the most, but I thought he was maybe the most victorious. But I bet some of those names are from people in the 1800s that were there every other day, back when it was in the basement. And it was kind of a joke. Kangaroo court.
I don't know. That's mean again.
I was. Do
you ever read like this?
Like you're Stevie Wonder playing the piano? No. He said he passed.
I know.
That really bummed me out.
I know.
I feel very lucky that I had a dinner with him.
I felt really kind of weird in that moment.
You did?
Because I knew that was new. You were finding out.
Yeah. And I always had this fantasy we would interview him someday because I really, really enjoyed the dinner I had with him.
Yeah. So I felt like...
What'd you feel? Like I should feel stupid? Okay. We've been at this for a while.
Okay.
You don't know how you felt.
No, I just felt what if you cried? What if you got really needed to take a break? When that would have been fine, of course. But
no.
Yeah, I would have.
Not if I need to take a break. We have a guest. We can't invite guests on and then I go, I need to take a break.
Well, if you find out that I die in the middle of an interview, I hope you take a break.
That'll mean I have witnessed you get killed in the middle of the interview. You're never not in the interview.
Or have a heart attack.
Okay. Or I will have to take a break. Yeah, to start chest compressions.
Or what if my an email comes in with my AIDS test?
Oh boy. We're going to get in hot water this episode. Unairable. Cut it. Dump it.
Dump it.
All right.
All right, that's it.
Love you.
Love you.